welcome in. Oh my God. You O9ers, PCHers, junior private detectives, Hearst College whatevers, and Piz. So sorry, Piz. To Life on Mars, Veronica Mars Rewatch Podcast, where we go through episode by episode. I'm Brenton.
And I'm Emily, and I'm a Piz supporter.
And we are this is a Piz supporting podcast.
A Piz family, if you will.
When you're here, you're Piz family. For season 3, episode 10, Show Me the Monkey. But yeah, if you don't like Piz, there's a door.
Yeah, you can get out. Because you know what? Upon rewatch, I remember when we finished season 3 the first time and we moved on to the movie. But I was like, I hope we see Piz again.
Yeah.
I liked Piz.
Anybody else who has not watched it and who is in the similar boat, don't get your hopes up.
Hey, maybe it'll change this time.
They updated the movie.
I don't know. 2020 has been weird. We don't know what people are doing at home.
Yeah. I mean, Jason Doran got too buff, so.
He did.
Yeah.
He did get too buff.
Yeah, so. Poor Piz. But he was on, Glow until that got canceled, so.
I follow him on Instagram, or I used to.
Yeah, but Chris,
Lowell?
Lowell? Wow.
That's, I don't think he says it like that.
Wow. Yeah. So, would you like to hear some background on this episode?
Sure.
You know how they have a guy named Ed Argent as the country music star?
Yeah.
What they originally trying to do is have Ted Nugent.
Is he a country music star?
Oh, yeah. Do you not know Ted Nugent?
I'm going to go with a no here.
Crazy country star, crazy right winger.
That's weird because I feel like I was listening to country music at this time and I don't know who that is.
Well, but he's like older than that. So even at the time, he would have been like older.
Oh, old news.
Yeah.
You hear that, Ted? You're old news.
Yeah, there you go. He was originally part of a band in 1963. So.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. Southern rock, hard rock, arena rock, psychedelic rock. So there you go.
Got a lot of rocks.
Yeah. Started in 63 and then on through 80s and 90s. There you go. But yeah, he's not a good person. So, but I think that's what they're trying to do on this. Like, oh, there's the right wing country music star that we'll make fun of in the for the FAT organization, animal rights. Which would make sense, but yeah, probably good not to have him. And the Gil Thomas, who ends up being our man with the monkey. His full name is Gil Thomas Party. No. So if you shorten it, it's Gil T Party.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
They had a good time writing the scripts.
Yeah, you know what? Have fun. I don't care.
Yeah, they have a good time. And do you know where this monkey was from beforehand?
Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, probably.
I don't know. I was just trying to pick a movie with a monkey.
He was Marcel on Friends.
Oh, I didn't really watch Friends.
Yeah, but he was the monkey on that.
I know there was a monkey, but I don't know why I never got into Friends.
The live animal actor Katie.
What?
Its name is Katie.
Oh.
Her name.
Is
Katie. But yep. But yet they always call her a male.
Yep, because men always get credit for the work of women.
Yep.
It goes deep. Misogyny runs deep.
Totally.
Any other background information before we hop in?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, we start with Veronica working for her father, organizing things. They're making jokes about, he's like, well, you're lucky I'm not a farmer because he'd be out in the fields, which is accurate.
Yes. It was much easier.
They have some banter about where the word manila comes from for manila folders.
I didn't actually know what that was either.
I always think of it because little kids in my family always said vanilla as manila, so then I think of Nilla wafers, and then I just because they're all the same color, I just kind of assume it's all the same concept. That's not accurate. But yeah, so then we learn a little bit about the origins of Manila.
Yeah, some sort of root from South Africa or something. It made from hemp
I wasn't paying attention to that.
Oh, okay.
I
did. I was like, oh, that's a fun fact.
I was distracted by the size of Veronica's laptop.
Times have changed. They had to fit all those big parts.
Yeah, that thing was. It was only a couple inches thick, but it was quite long.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel the weight.
We've only gotten better in terms of sizing since then.
Mm-hmm. And then they're making jokes, and Mrs. Odell comes in. She's like,
Widow Odell.
Keith, I don't think my husband killed himself. And also I can't get paid out by life insurance because it's a suicide.
Right.
Which is absolutely fucked up.
It really is. 100%. And at the same time, too, it's just like, okay. Are you doing this because you don't think he died that way, or are you doing it because you need the money?
I think she's right. I don't think he was suicidal.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because we saw him leave.
Yeah, Keith is like, hey, where were you then? Because he found out you and Professor Landry were doing the frisky in the hotel. Is that not what you call it? The frisky?
Yeah. You know what came to my head?
The cat food?
Nope. The sideways Charleston.
Yeah. Let's just get all of our sexual analogies and innuendos out now.
Perfect.
But yeah, she's like, I was with Professor Landry all night. And Keith's like, okay, I'll poke around, and if I find anything, I'll take the case. But I sincerely doubt I'll find anything.
Yeah.
Enter Mac.
Yes.
Mac walks into a lab. It's not the beginning of a joke.
Okay. Stop if you heard this one before.
There's two students who are studying in this lab. It's a lab that usually has lab rats and monkeys. It's a mammal lab.
I'm assuming TAs of some sort. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, like, is this a research institution?
Yeah, because they are also talking about having all these animals that they're testing at the school. I don't know if that's how it works. I doubt that's how it works.
I think if you're a research university, sure.
I guess that you're just performing autopsies on monkeys all the time.
I mean, I think you're studying them for a lot of it.
Okay.
I mean, think about like when you did COM, like, because we were at a research university, we did a bunch of studies and participated in studies.
Yeah.
I feel like
but they didn't cut me open afterwards.
Well, I also think there's a skill level to like a COM research study where it's like, yeah, those were put on by people that like learned like a social science versus like being able to do the testing on like a lab rat.
Right. Okay.
But I honestly don't know because the only the only science classes I took at UCSB were about rocks.
What was it? Was it called like rocks?
So there was one that was about like geology that was like the rocks and like you can see like how the cliffs and shit like that in Santa Barbara, like the different rocks and stuff in it. And we went hiking and we looked at all the different rocks in the side of that. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. And that was fun. And cool. But yeah, it was literally like intro to rocks or like, like basic, right. Something like that. And then I took a class about natural catastrophes.
Yeah.
Which was terrifying.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah. It was like, where a lot of your friends live is going to fall into the ocean one day. And I was like, that's why I didn't buy an oceanfront apartment.
Right. Very scary. And seeing that happen in
the road in real time.
Yeah. Was very scary.
But it didn't stop you from living there.
No, that was kind of after.
True.
Wasn't really paying attention to too much of like erosion when I didn't live there. And then it's like, oh boy, this has definitely gotten smaller since I've lived here.
You did your own erosion study. You measured.
Head out every day. Oh, that ocean is so. Oh, there goes a piece of the cliff.
But yeah, so they're researching like animals and stuff like that. I always thought about like in high school we dissected things. We just didn't kill we didn't kill them.
Right. Like Jesus, this is rough. Yeah, lots of rats and a monkey.
Number 25. That's what they call the monkey.
Yeah.
It's just an object, not a.
Yeah.
Is that true? I feel like they definitely name lab rats and like lab animals.
Maybe.
Do they always biopsy them though? Because I don't feel like we usually cut everything open.
Biopsy.
Isn't that what it is? I guess.
Well, autopsy. It's postmortem.
Autopsy. Yeah, you're right. They're not
Getting a biopsy.
just do a little check-in while they're alive, right? Just pulling a mole.
Make sure everything's checked. It's not cancerous. So all of the lab rats and number 25 have gone missing.
They've been stolen.
Yes.
And the hard drive has been destroyed and the backup information is missing. And so they're like, Mac. And she's like, I'm tech support. And they're like, please help us get the information off this hard drive. She's like, maybe. I don't know if I can. Someone spilled something on it. And they're like, but who? We don't even know who to reach out to help us find a monkey. And Mac's like, I know a bitch.
Yeah. Do you believe in coincidences? Paula, right?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't write down any of their names.
Crap. I think it was Paula. Something. Pauline.
So Mac's like, hey, Veronica, and Veronica's like, I'm sorry, I'm sulking. I'm sitting in the cafeteria watching Logan eat breakfast from afar. And
pissed that he's around.
Yeah, excuse me, breakfast time is my time. And then Mac's like, hey, I got an offer for you. You want to help these people in lab coats look for a monkey? And Veronica's like, sure, why not? And they're like, we think it was PHAT, P-H-A-T, People for the Humane Animal Treatment.
Yeah. A decent portmanteau of a PETA. Yeah, decent stand-in.
Yes. So then they go, she's like, hey, Mac, we're gonna sneak into one of the PHAT group's meetings because we need to figure out what happened. And Veronica is wearing the world's largest sunglasses in the scene.
Yep.
And I was like, it's 2007, baby.
It's very much of the time. Big old thick frames.
She's got her bangs back in a poof. The little hairdo.
A little bump it?
Yeah, like a bump it. And it's called poof. And she's got big sunnies. And, she's ready to take on the world. And while they're out there looking at the sign, a man walks up to them. Well, as Mac walks away.
Yeah.
None other than Keith. Daddy-o.
Yep.
He's like, hi, I'm at your school. Where's Weevil? And,
always a good sign to ask where Weevil is.
Veronica's like, how did you know where I was? My phone's off. And he's like, one day I'll tell you. I'm like, that's terrifying.
That is really good. Hey, he's a private detective. He knows these things.
Yeah, but you can't track people. It's not okay.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, he just happened to see her. Uh-huh. So then Mac, Parker, and Veronica are hanging out in Mac and Parker's room, picking out their clothing for their infiltration of PHAT. P-H-A-T.
Yeah. Making sure things aren't made with animals, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can't wear wool. You can't wear...
so many things.
Can't wear leather. You can't wear... I don't know. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Usually it's all leather.
It also... it made me think about the time that I got out of dissecting a fetal pig because I was a vegetarian. So I said that I was like, I'm not going to eat meat. I'm definitely not going to cut open a dead pig. Like, it's just so I did the frog freshman year. I'm not doing the pig junior, senior year, whatever.
Yeah, glad I never had to do that.
And instead of doing that, I had to do a fake one on the computer, which was very fun. Because you didn't identify all the parts.
Good time.
And then I had to write a 7-page paper on animal testing. And my teacher was like, you can argue for it or against it, but like, I'm going to grade it based on like scientific relevancy. And so I wrote it on how animal testing was a necessary evil.
Damn.
I was like, I can't really pick a side on this because it's not good, but like it's better than doing it on people.
Right.
is there a way to do it without the animals? Like, I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Right.
Here's what they all said.
I'm only 17.
Literally. This was over a decade ago. I'm like, oh.
I've got a lot of other things to worry about.
Unfortunately, I'm more worried about many other things, including which are prom. So I'm going to have to work through this later.
Table this.
But I mean, I feel like it was a pretty good paper. I don't know. You'd have to ask my teacher.
Yeah, I'm sure it was great.
But how I was in hindsight, I think it's so funny that me opinionated as fuck. I was like, it's a necessary evil. That's what I got from reading.
Right down the middle.
I literally was like, well, I don't like it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. I don't take that position on many things,
but this case.
That case, that's where I landed. But yeah, so Mac, Parker, Veronica, they're getting ready. The RA comes in and she's like, hey, girls, you guys going to be in this around the world party we're throwing on the floor? And Mac's like, no, thank you. I don't want strangers in my room.
Yeah, that's, and later seeing the party, that's like an intense party, like to throw. I thought you would just put like, hey, you can go see Camp Bodhi over there. And they just put like a flag up.
Yeah.
They go all out.
Yeah. It made me think of, there's an episode of Gilmore Girls where they do that, like, freshman year.
Oh, right.
Where it's like they're supposed to open their door for the party and then like Paris tries to pick a vibe for the room and it's great because it's Gilmore Girls and it's Paris. It was around the same time and I was like, is this a thing that other schools did?
Yeah, because we never did that. I mean, we did. It was like encouraged to leave your door open like first week or so you can just like meet people.
Yeah.
But like we didn't have like any like we had like if we did have a party, it wasn't in individual people's rooms with the doors open. It was just like, hey, come into the main common area and we'll all do a game or something.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, kind of. We did like it was like a floor meeting, and then I think like people like made CDs, and I can't remember how that worked, but some way to like kind of get to know people.
My RA Ben would just barbecue for us.
That is cool.
Because we were in Manzanita, so we had those barbecues right there. So he'd just be like, okay, like family barbecue.
You could have plugged in a George Foreman, I guess, in FD. One at a time.
Well, and we had those really nice kitchens in our building, too.
Mm-hmm.
So we never were lacking on that.
Yeah, you had the nice stuff.
We did. I didn't utilize it that much. But we did use it a little.
Mm-hmm.
We baked a couple cakes and stuff like that for people's birthdays. But
yeah, that's not too bad. We were in the hotel rooms pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're planning for a big party and Mac's like, and Parker's like, we should have fun.
Yeah.
We should do this.
Yeah, Parker.
We should be out on the prowl, babies.
Yep. Hey.
Single.
Exactly. Yeah, calls them all out one by one.
Yeah. Rebound.
Yeah. Parker, infectious energy. She's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
This girl is ready to get back out there. She's motivated and feeling great.
And she feels happy.
Yes.
It seems like Parker found her spark again.
Exactly.
And
she's involved on campus. She helped save Veronica, and let's just say she's getting good grades. I'd assume like that's all flowing right there. So yeah, she's doing good.
Yeah, and I mean that was only an episode ago, you know.
Yeah, well, 6 weeks in TV time.
You're right. Yeah. So they're like, Mac's like, I don't know. But then we go to the meeting for our PETA lookalike.
Fat.
I just hate it because it's like
baby
fat, like the brands and stuff like that. Like how fat was always spelled PHAT at this time.
Yeah.
Like it just makes me feel like I am co-opting a movement with a completely different movement that has nothing to do with each other.
That is true. And it is used earlier for cheap fat phobic jokes.
Yep. And we're not about that life.
No, definitely not.
Fuck that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a few
there's
fat phobic jokes in this episode.
Well, there's nothing wrong with fat in general, like FAT fat, but it's the fact that like this has then become like a joke that I'm like, I don't like that. Like does that make sense?
Totally. No, because there's literally Veronica makes some joke about like them being delicious, and it's like, okay,
the monkeys, not the people.
Well, but then they go to the meeting and Mac meets a snack. Not needs.
Oh my god, that was so bad. It was good, but it was bad. So the
We try.
president, his name was. I wrote
Yeah, it was
down.
like Bronson or something.
Bronson.
Yeah. Oh, let me see if I can find it right here. But Bronson. Bronson Pope.
Bronson. I was saying Bronson, but maybe I was just trying to put.
I also heard Bronson, so it's all right. I put boy for the majority of my notes. Boy. Finger point.
This is not Riverdale. So we walk into the meeting. Mac makes eyes with a boy named Bronson.
Mm-hmm.
He's the president of our PETA club. And he's a little flirty wordy with Mac, who responds in the only way any of us know how, which is total awkwardness.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, are you from, an activist kind of upbringing or whatever?" And she's like, "I'm from a meat and potatoes family. Hold the potatoes." My first toy or my first pacifier was jerky. Just these horrible, non-animal friendly driven statements that I'm just like, okay, girl, we get it.
Yeah, good job.
You nervous?
Uh-huh. It's tough.
Veronica's very gung-ho. She's like, oh my God, I want to do all the things and playing up her character so that she can try to find out if they're going to overthrow the animal government.
Right. The animal government.
Unfortunately, the meeting is literally just them watching a presentation.
Yep. And they do not bite on Veronica's
action driven
enthusiasm, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah. They are like, hey, we're gonna do this animal protection mailing thing.
Yeah, do a letter writing campaign.
Yeah. So can't wait to see you guys for that on Monday or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're very low key about their activism.
Call that white people activism.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, the letter writing campaign works apparently. So
for them, because this is fiction.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we wind that up. We cut over to Keith and Weevil. They're doing a little, Thelma and Louise investigation. Looky-loo. I don't know. They're double trouble.
Okay, there you go.
It's a duo.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination. It's your two favorite men. Well, Wallace isn't there.
Yeah. But I mean, if it had worked out earlier in the season that he was still working for him, would be great. But no, now he's just telling Keith what happened and how he found his body awful.
Yeah, he's like, I came in, I thought he was sleeping, and then I was like, oh no, there's blood, he's dead. Luckily for us, Weevil grew up on the not so nice side of town, so he does not seem fazed by this.
And he's done some shit.
But he's like, yeah, there was a suicide note, but it was a memo typed out on the computer, and it said, goodbye, cruel world, Z, because he landed on the Z key, which I thought was just the perfect touch.
It was very good.
And Keith is like, that's a problem. We cut over to our Neptune Grand Suite.
Mm-hmm.
Dick is in a bathroom. He got a Polaroid camera and he takes a picture of his dick.
Yep. It is funny when he does that and a little less funny when he throws it off the balcony.
My favorite thing about this scene, though, is that they didn't even bother to the backdrop is a painting.
Yeah.
It's not a picture. It's not like a high quality image or a green screen. It's a painting.
Mm-hmm. It looks like he can jump into it like Blue's Clues style.
I feel like he could reach out and touch it.
Yeah. Or you just I fell off the balcony and nope, I'm fine.
Blues could do, we can do.
Mm-hmm. And then he's just running around the back.
Yeah. Logan's like, hey, management asked you to stop doing that. And he's like, and the picture lands in front of an old lady.
Mm-hmm. Very fun.
Dick then is like, Logan, you got to stop being sad, man. You broke up with her. You got to get you're going again.
You're going?
You're going again. We got to do boy things, and we're young single men in our sexual prime. And I'm like, you really aren't in your sexual prime yet, because I feel like men before like 22 don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's the lie we tell ourselves.
Oh, I'm in my prime.
Mm-hmm.
Before 22, like no one knows what they're doing in life
Yeah.
until about 25, and then no one really knows what they're doing until they've like gotten it down. So I just feel like I don't know what lifestyle Logan thinks he's been living, but
No.
well, maybe
Logan knows he knows nothing. Kind
and
of,
he
but
was with
represses
Kendall.
it. Yes.
Kendall wasn't gonna not take Kendall. I'm sure taught him some things.
Oh yeah, that's probably true.
Kendall was not going to take any sort of bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
The most unbelievable part about Kendall hooking up with a high schooler that was 18 was the fact that any woman would go for someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Dick, well, unless you don't like yourself.
Touche.
And Dick does not seem to, he's not that person.
No.
But he also thinks Garden State is based off a book, which I thought was very funny.
So they're gonna have a boys night, I guess. They're gonna do boy things.
Yeah, boy things.
They're gonna go boy it up. Boy.
Butch it up.
Yeah, they're gonna man around.
Man around.
Back at our PETA club, Veronica's like, "Hi, we're here to do the letter writing campaign." Excuse me. She's sat by Darla. She's like, "Hi, Darla. Basically, I'm aggressive and I'd like to make things move faster. When can we start like doing scary things or whatever?"
And she just like noted.
Yeah, Darla's like, "No, thank you. Please stop."
Here's a letter.
Mac, on the other hand, is sitting with her boy. They're doing some things together. And then later, Mac's sitting by Veronica. I'm not sure how that change happened.
Well, she picks up the letters from the dude and they like talk, and then she goes to Veronica to start doing the lick and stamp.
Do you lick stamps?
You lick the back of the envelope, stamp.
Oh.
Two separate actions. Lick and then stamp.
Got it. I was like, I don't think we do that anymore.
Yeah, it's awful. I've gotten so many stamps stuck to me.
How do you know they're already sticky, right?
That's what I'm saying.
There's this kid with flippy hair. He comes up and he's like,
And a soul patch.
I hear you want to take, and a blonde streak. He's like,
yes.
I hear you want to take some action. Like, if you want to get in on like the action, we want you to like do something, like big, and then like it doesn't matter what, but like show us what it is.
Yeah, you gotta impress us so you can get in on the Splinter Cell.
Exactly. Veronica's like, cool, can't wait. I got a plan. Mm-hmm. Keith is still working with our buddy. Oh no, he's back at home.
Yep, they swap.
Yeah, he's making dinner, and he's like, Veronica, how's your day, whatever. And she's like, what are you thinking about, Dad? And he's like, I'm thinking about how I wouldn't drink bad alcohol and then kill myself.
Yeah.
If I had been waiting to drink this alcohol. And she's like, well, good thing we don't keep the good stuff in the house. Because the dean, if you don't remember from last time, had talked about this really nice bottle of scotch.
Yeah.
Brown alcohol.
Yeah, whiskey of some kind.
Alcohol of the brown variety.
Yep.
In a glass bottle, looking very fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Fancier than your regular brown bottle liquid.
Oh, yeah. Only the best.
And he was drinking the not fancy stuff because he was saving the fancy stuff for a day when, it was going to be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was opened when Keith saw it, but it was at like the last thing. It was like he'd been drinking the bad alcohol and then he drank that, right? Or was it not opened at all?
No, so that's what there was like no, it wasn't like drunk at all. Okay. So that's why he was like, why wouldn't you drink it if like you're going to kill yourself? Because this is like the thing you
wanted to do.
Exactly. And then Keith asked Veronica about, the dean's writing style. Is it very plain or what was it? And she says, well, I'd say it's more Old Testament sarcastic. And he's like, oh, so you wouldn't use like regular like blanket terms pretty much.
Like goodbye, cruel world. And Veronica's like, that's funny. Because in my paper to plan the perfect murder, I got an A, Father.
Yeah, by the way.
My note was typed up as a... and I used a turn of phrase so that way then you couldn't look into it.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to look into the message and try and decipher something, and then you couldn't find fingerprints.
Exactly. Well, you could handwriting samples. You could
handwriting samples. Yeah. Sorry.
How do you type?
Face first. My nose.
It's really weird. At the police station, we've just got this one guy's nose. Yeah, he had to print his nose. That's how he types.
It's pretty rough.
Everyone's like, hmm? Then we go over. Veronica's like, hey, Piz, I need you to get Ed Argent on the show because I just do. He's going to be in town and I need you to do it. And Piz is like, okay. Anything for you.
Yep, pretty much. Well, I will ask some questions only to bust chops and then sure.
I would like to keep talking to you. Let me keep asking questions.
Yep, pretty much.
So he's like, yeah. And he's like, can you tell me why? And she's like, nope, I cannot because it is part of my thing. But you might be helping to save a monkey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, number 25.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we also learned in our PETA lookalike class that all the lab animals are executed in the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
Every single one.
By firing squad. Yeah, every single one.
Not by
Awful.
firing squad.
No. Mm.
Then
back to the lab.
She goes back to the lab and she's like, hey, do you guys really kill the monkey when you're done? And they're like, yeah, we have to do an autopsy. And she's like,
yeah, what else do you think we fucking do with them?
And in walks
Why do you think we have so many monkey corpses in the back?
Oh my god. Burton.
Sorry.
No. It's gonna make Planet of the Apes real. And then they're gonna get us.
It's not going to be our fault.
But you spoke so casually about it. They're gonna come for us.
Oh, I see.
Take him, not me.
Mm-hmm. I apologize.
I love you, but not enough to get taken by the apes.
Fair enough.
Those movies always really bothered me.
Never watched them.
Oh, they really.
I don't like apes, so.
They really bothered me. Just in general.
I don't like monkeys.
But like, do you mind like that they exist? You just don't want to like watch a movie about them.
Yeah, I just don't want to watch a movie about them.
But like, that's cool that like they're at the zoo.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't want to like. I'm just not. I don't want to like hang out with a monkey. I'm not gonna go Jane Goodall, and I don't need to watch like them taking over the screen.
It takes a lot of work to become Jane Goodall, so
Yes.
I think you're good.
But you know, I'm not gonna go out of my way to try and spend time with monkeys.
And learn to make gorilla noises so you can talk to them.
No, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. No, that was admiration in my voice.
Absolutely fascinating. Oh, I just want to, get my opinions as someone who doesn't like monkeys on the on the record.
Yes, Your Honor. Please tell us about your.
I was not motivated to strike against these monkeys. They're fine doing their thing. I just don't, I'm fine. They live their lives. I live mine.
But don't babies kind of just look just like monkeys?
Yeah, that's what's weird about it.
You don't like
They're
babies?
They're too close to humans.
Oh. I took that the other way.
Don't like babies, huh?
It's like, oh, you don't like babies.
I mean, babies look weird, but like...
They're human. They don't feel uncanny to you.
Yeah, there's something weird about how close monkeys are.
Mm.
To the point where it can't be like, oh, look at this cute animal. Like certain people are like, look at this cute monkey. It's just like, it's a little too
no,
close to
but
humans.
I see them as like equals but different,
Yeah, sure. But that doesn't, there's like something, there's a disconnect there of like, oh, let's go watch the animals. It's just like, well, it kind of looks like we just have furry people in a cage, and like that's a little weird.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of like watching animals in zoos is really weird and uncomfortable. I mean, Don't get me wrong, I love animals and I like to see them.
Mm-hmm.
But it is strange.
Yeah. And then also, this of like testing on monkeys, it's like, they're pretty close to us. Like, I know that's why you're doing this, but like, weird.
Yeah, weird. My favorite monkey is Curious George.
Oh, yeah, I like him too. He wears a hat.
Uh-huh. You like Curious George?
Does he wear a hat?
I think only in the one with the yellow hat.
The yellow hat guy does. I think that's the Mandela effect, isn't it? That he wears a hat.
Is it the Mandela effect's his tail?
Oh, okay, never mind. I don't think he wears a hat.
I don't remember.
I think there's the guy in the yellow, yeah, but not
who's his friend.
Yeah, exactly. Not Curious George. Anyways. Someone has come in and eaten the monkey's food. No, the monkey's food is gone.
Also, we got confirmation that they do in fact kill the monkeys, and then a girl from the plant lab's like, hey, it's cold in here, you have the air conditioner on this, if you wanted to see my nipples you could just ask, which is that's not something I've ever said to anyone in my life.
No, and it really allowed the guy a guilty party to raise his hand.
Well, and it allows guys to just like feel like weirdly sexually satisfied by the fact that this girl has boobs
Yeah.
that you
it's
can't
weird.
see under her lab coat.
No. Yet, throw it in there and
And then some nipples are innies and some nipples are outies, and it doesn't matter the temperature, you know?
yeah, that's what happens. Yes, this is Emmy from the plant lab
Yes.
next door, literally through a door.
The plant lab friend Emmy, she doesn't like them
Friend.
the animal testing people because they have more space and a bigger lab, and I'm with her because I think plants are a lot more exciting.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of cool shit over there.
But she was like, yeah, I would
She's
never
one step away from poison ivy, though.
I would never sabotage another science lab. Like, I'm a
Right.
scientist at heart.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I trust you, Emmy.
But if she was sabotaging capitalists who were trying to take over the environment, then she's poison ivy.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
It's tough. It's a really fine fault with some of Batman's villains sometimes.
Yeah, no, there's nothing.
Damn.
They're not bad. The world's bad.
Well, some of them are horrible.
Well, yeah. I never really liked the Joker because I don't like clowns.
The best thing to come out of the Joker recently is calling people Jokerfied.
I don't get it.
I'm going to become the Joker. It's like that, whoa, I'm just going to go crazy. I'm going to go off the wall. But yeah, now people use it as a joke.
Got it.
Because of that super serious one that came out a year ago.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, we don't need to watch it.
But yeah, so we don't have poison ivy. We just have Emmy. Not just. She's a wonderful person. I don't know her at all.
No. She doesn't get much time other than be contradictory.
So then, Mac, Veronica, and Parker go to meet the guy
Ed Argent.
that Piz had on for them, wearing their Theta Beta Zeta sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
Theta Zeta Beta, whatever.
Yep.
And they're like, can you
Flip
take
it in
a
reverse.
picture of us with our sorority sweaters on so we can send a picture to our sisters? And he's like, yeah, of course, because he's a creepy dude.
Yep.
And I mean, he's just a dude in general, but then he's also creepy. And so they give him a sweater, and his sweater actually says "Meat is murder," which I would wear.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
It's pretty great.
Big Smiths fan.
Yeah. To die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. And then they take the photo with him. He, obviously thinks he's wearing a Theta Beta Zeta sweater. It ends up in the school newspaper, and then the crazy PETA people are like, you're in. Meet us at this time. We're gonna do a initiation. They're like, hey, come to our dorm room. And then they're like, look, we're going to take photos of you naked with these anti-fur campaigns. See, and they have a photo of one of the guys naked with the thing.
It's
they
the guy
commit
with the
to
soul.
this.
Yeah, it's the guy with the soul patch, which I appreciate that out of the, the people they have there, the photo they have for this prank is
of a
soul
guy.
patch man. Yeah.
Well, I think it's important too, because you can't hold two sides. It's really hard to hold two sides. That's not sexy per se, but how do you cover both?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's rough.
I don't know how to pose nude with science.
That's what he did. He did it horizontal and covered his private parts. But yeah, I see what you mean.
But you
need a longer sign, I guess, bigger sign.
Yeah, when you got an upstairs and a downstairs private part, you gotta
right. That's when you leave the downstairs part with you keep your pants on. You do the opposite Pooh Bear.
Upside down Pooh Bear.
Exactly. Only pants, no shirt.
Yeah. And they're like, that's really, oh my God, we're not getting naked. And then everyone's like, ha ha. And they pull down a curtain and everyone else on the group is there. And they're like, it's a joke. Yay. Ha ha. You're in. We
this
just
is how we take the steam out of our people that want to blow up buildings.
And we're like, ha ha. And then the guy, the president, Bronson. He's like, hey, you guys want to grab food with us? Looking at Mac. And she's like, nope, I had a few mints earlier.
Yep. So we're going to miss. But does Veronica... Yes, Veronica invites Bronson over for their international party on the floor.
Oh, yeah, the Around the World party on the
floor. Around
the
world, thank you.
They then get the room involved by calling it Canada, putting up a poster of a moose, playing the Bare Naked Ladies.
BNL.
And um, by attempting to do a Canadian accent with
Pretty
May.
great. Yeah. Also, the RA in this scene is also, I was like, oh, I feel like I know this person from somewhere. Also from Glow. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Veronica and Parker are talking. Well, I mean, all of them are talking. And Parker's like, we should go out and mingle and like get back in the saddle. And Veronica's like, you go get him, sister. I'll be over here.
Mm-hmm.
Parker convinces her that she should give it the old college try. They mingle. They have the door open. They talk to boys. Boys are duds. Boys suck.
Yeah, Veronica gets stuck talking to a very sad boy. He's very broken up about his.
Maybe I should call her.
Uh-huh.
Almost like she had to comfort Logan, but a different guy.
Exactly.
If Logan could talk about his feelings.
Exactly. This one's name was Luke.
And then another guy who didn't like her, didn't find her interesting.
Yeah.
Which is baffling, but
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Hey, he's a dud. He doesn't understand.
Mac, on the other hand, is like standing in the middle of the room. Veronica goes over to check on her, and Boy didn't show up. So she's like, I just want to sit in my room. So Veronica's like, Canada's closing its border.
Yep. I put Boy doesn't show up, frowny face. And then, once I finished drawing the frowny face, then Parker opens the door and shows up with him. It's like, hey, someone showed up. And I put, comma, he shows up.
You more emotionally involved than Mac.
I'm very happy that Mac's back, and I was very happy that this is a Big Mac episode.
Yeah.
And that she also calls her libido don't later. But yeah.
And then Bronson comes in, and Parker's like, I checked his ID, and he's cleared to enter the country. And then she's like, I'm gonna go be in the hallway, so I'll just close you alone in this room together.
Like you mentioned when we watched it, you're like, that is extremely smart.
Yes, because I feel like I should have checked everyone's ID when they were trying to make out with my friends.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, just write down their name, their address, maybe photocopy it.
Totally. You got a good beat on this person.
In high school, my parents did that once.
Really?
A guy picked me up for a date, and they were like, can we see your ID so we can photocopy it?
That's amazing.
And I was like, please don't.
Parents' numbers?
Yeah, they're like, we have your license plate number. And I was like, this isn't funny. I am my own person.
This is really good.
They did that to multiple people.
Fantastic.
Every single boy handed over their ID without hesitating, even though they were like, are they joking? And I'm like, I think so.
Right. It's high school. You just listen.
Panic. You give it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Mother, I'm an independent woman.
Yeah, please, no.
I don't want to have to see this person again if this goes poorly. And now you've made a commitment. We know them. We have proof. We survived. We all got through it. It was a rough time for all of us. You're lucky you didn't date me then. You would have been terrified.
Yeah, probably. I mean, just even before the meeting the parents, I'd just be terrified. Just as a constant state.
Mm-hmm.
I was terrified.
Were you terrified of meeting my parents when you met them?
A little bit, but like not super bad. It was just like, okay, I wonder what it's gonna be like. I was nervous. Nervous, not terrified.
They're not really terrifying.
No.
They're just kind of weird.
Yeah, well, in the day that I met them, you were moving things out, and so everybody was a little grumpy and a little quiet. A little quieter than usual.
In hindsight, we're a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah.
They were trying to be well behaved, and the only way they know how to do that is to shut their mouths. It's a family issue.
It was funny.
But yeah, no. I love that Parker checks the ID. The boy talks to Mac. He's like, hey, I'm going to have to leave soon, but like, I've got all these other clubs I'm in, but like, I wanted to stop by and see you. And we're like, swoon, cute. And then he goes to kiss her as he leaves, and she pulls back. And I'm like, fair, me too.
Yeah. She's been through a lot.
Well, also, like, I feel like because it's television, we expect them to kiss. But like in a real life scenario, if someone like talked to me for like a minute and then tried to kiss me, I'd probably be like,
oh, yeah, that's 100% true. Like, it's like, oh, well, we of course kiss.
Like, we're watching it and we're like, look at this sexual tension. We're like, but we don't actually know.
Right. So, like, in last night's episode, it was so cool. All right, kiss time. Yeah. And the show loves to not talk about the trauma that is going on in these people's lives. So, like, I wouldn't blame you for forgetting that like Mac had a really fucking rough end to season 2, and then now she's like disappeared for 8 episodes. So, she's like still putting that back together.
Yeah. So he leaves. She's kind of like, oh no. Logan and Dick go to the beach. Boys' days.
Mm-hmm.
They go to meet up with some other boy that I can't. Chip. Yeah, from the frat.
Yep. Just a horrible collection of people.
Yeah, this is just
we swapped out Mercer for Chip.
The meeting of the douchebags.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They're like,
go ride our boards, bro.
It's the only thing they're going to be riding. What's funny is to me, I'm like, oh God, like assholes like that just have no game.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like it's like television's like, yeah, and that's how you get the girls. And then for a while, girls are like, yeah, that's what we're supposed to look for. And then we're like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be around you.
Yeah, there's
There's a tipping point on that scale.
Yeah, it took me a bit to realize that. Well, they just are like classically handsome. I see.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this case, most of them aren't. Oh,
right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it depends on what you consider class.
Exactly. Eye of the beholder and all that. But it's just like, what does this person have? Oh, they're conventionally attractive. Mm-hmm. I remember there was a friend of a friend. I was just like, damn, he like always like has all these girls. Like what's his game? It's like he has nothing to tell you. He's like just good looking.
Yeah, it's just his face. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't talk, he probably gets really far.
Right.
I mean, I don't know who this is, so right. I don't know.
Well, you met him, but it was just like really funny. Mm-hmm. I was just like, oh, well, of course, like that. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So the boys are there. Some girls walk by, and the boys are misogynistic because they're like, we don't have enough beer to make them cute. Mm-hmm. It's like, those girls are surfing. Like, yeah. Maybe they want nothing to do with you. But of course they do, because Rob Thomas writes misogynistic plot lines. Mm-hmm. So I don't know who wrote this episode. I'm blaming the entire writer's room on him. As the show creator. And that's like,
this was written by John Enbaum and Robert Hull.
Excuse me. Those sound like two men.
It was.
Interesting. It's funny how the show about a girl is written by men.
Yeah. Funny
a woman.
I picked up on that.
I know. It's really, she's not like other girls. And that's because she's written by men.
Yeah. So she wouldn't be.
Yeah, because how could she be? Because they wouldn't know what it's like to be a woman.
Nope. Not at all.
That's my little misogyny lesson corner. Let's learn a little bit about how you're toxic. But so then we cut back over to our girls, our trio, our ladies. Parker's like, don't worry, Mac. We can stop by the boy's house on our way to wherever we're going out at, because I stole his ID. And I was like, Parker, you bitch. I love you. And Mac's like, why would you take that? And she's like, so we had an excuse to stop back by. And also, I mean, personally, I'm like, what if he murdered you?
Right. Yeah. Then we know where to find him. We know where to start.
We know his address. We know his name.
We know who the fuck this is.
And then they go to the house. They knock on the door, and a girl opens the door, or a lady. But don't worry, our friend Bronson is right there, and he invites us in. He's like, oh my God, our letter writing campaign worked. Do you want to see what we did?
Hell yeah, I guess.
We head back to the beach. The misogyny is palpable with Logan and the boys.
Yes. They started a fire on the beach.
Yes.
Boys, what are you doing?
They started a fire on the beach. The boys invite the girls over. They drink beer and they get all flirty. That's really all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course the girl who was surfing is wearing a wetsuit, but don't worry, she's taking the top part off but only up to where her boobs are, so that you can see that her boobs are out.
That's usually how it works.
But usually you fold down a little further, I feel.
Oh, okay.
It's like specifically yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't notice that. Because usually, it's down to your
it's like half. It felt like it was like, we're really highlighting that she has big boobs.
Got it.
Did not pick up. You get them, girl. It's nothing against her. But it's just like, I wonder who chose this outfit. This was designed for the male gaze. And I'm tired of seeing women through the male gaze.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go back to the house. We find out that our boy Bronson, Matt goes to get some water because she has a little moment where she's like, oh God, he's got a girlfriend. Like, who's this girl he lives with?
Freaking out.
Blah, blah, blah. And she passes his room and sees that he's got rats in his room. A bunch of rats.
Yep.
A lot of rats.
A lot of rats.
You could say he has a rat-a-tat.
Yes, he does. Rat attack.
And she's like, hey, Veronica, you should probably go get some water and go past his room too. Go see these rats.
Yep. Take some pictures.
She does that. She takes some pictures. Veronica comes back and she's like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me that you stole all the rats?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, someone dropped them off at my door.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
People know I rescue animals. So they just leave animals on my door. And I'm like, me
really
too.
Like, damn, man. That's a lot of responsibility.
But at the same time, Parker's like, hey, how long have you and Amy, who opened the door, been together? And he's like, 19 years. And we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's
the
like,
worst way to answer this
she's my
question.
sister.
It's the worst way to answer
I'm
this
like,
question.
so you aren't together.
Right. Why don't you just say she's my sister?
We've
We've been together 19 years. My God.
How would you answer that? Like, that's just
It's my sister. Never say I've been with my sister for 28 years.
Well, yeah, for her it's 28 and 9 months, but for me it was, well, I guess for you were a month early, so it would have been 28 and 8 months.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I was ready to go.
Get me out of here.
I'm ready now.
Brenton was fully cooked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You were probably pretty small when you came out.
Probably. I'm not very big now, so.
I don't think that's always how that works out.
Really? I just making assumptions.
Before we have children, we're gonna take a little biology.
Probably need it.
Nope, the baby was small now, and it shall be small forever. I know
Well,
both your parents are 6'2". It won't matter.
Hey, it did not matter for my. Hey, your dad's 6'3". You're gonna keep growing. Hey, don't worry, he's gonna keep growing.
Yeah, but the men on your mom's side of the family are not tall.
No, they're all about my height.
Yeah,
like literally.
And you look like them, so I'm not surprised that you got genes that match theirs. Since you
and didn't get the tall one.
Yeah, because
but the doctors kept being like, "You're gonna grow. Don't worry, you're gonna grow." Not growing, doctor.
No one ever told me, "Don't worry, you're gonna grow."
Another year has passed.
They
and
said,
yet, the notch on the wall in the kitchen is still the same.
They said, you might get taller than your mother. And I said, ooh.
Cool.
That sounds exciting.
Might.
I did not. My mother is still taller than me. I never got there. He's the shortest one in the family. I did my best.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's a lack of trying.
I really put a lot of effort into it. I just, 5'1.5" an inch is all I'm going to get. Sometimes I say I'm 5'1".
There you go.
Makes me feel powerful.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's 5'2", 5'2.5".
Rough.
Rude.
It is.
But enough about DNA and sibling relations. My brother is 6'2", so who cares?
Damn.
Doesn't make any sense. So we find out Amy's his sister. We then cut back over to Logan, who is hooking up with the girl from the beach with the boobs in his car.
Mm-hmm. And she is stoked that she was with Aaron Eccles' son.
Yeah, which is a weird thing to say.
It is very weird. That's very creepy.
Also, I think she's still wearing the wetsuit on the bottom, so I have a lot of questions.
Just making out.
They were not just making out in that car.
Did she put the wetsuit back on?
Yeah. I have questions.
Brutal.
I don't know, though. I'd have to rewatch the scene for that. But I remember thinking, like, the logistics on this. And I've worn a wetsuit once.
Putting on a wet wetsuit is not.
And you
that
can't.
That doesn't happen.
Taking off a wetsuit's hard. Like, how sexy is that? Like, can you pull
But
my leg?
Yeah. It's a lot.
I don't know. Maybe I don't understand surfer romance.
You know what? We probably don't.
You grew up by the beach.
But I don't know surfer romance.
No, you only know city girl romance.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. I'm country mouse, aren't I?
Yeah. But you're from the town.
I'm town mouse.
Yeah.
But I'm not city mouse.
Yep.
Well, I was a city mouse.
Yeah.
Country mouse. What is it? Is it town mouse, country mouse? City
I think
Mouse,
so.
Country Mouse.
I think City Mouse, Country Mouse.
I think so too. That's me. They didn't do Suburban Mouse.
No.
This is our upper middle class mouse.
Exactly.
He drives a Volkswagen, and
this is our gated community mouse.
Ooh. So speaking of mice, then Mac tells the
There's a
boy
rat.
to get rid of the rats.
Mm-hmm. Sheriff gets called to check on the rats.
Yeah, they go. There's no mice there because the boy got rid of them. We also find out that Mac's like, hey, but don't worry, look what I found in the hard drive, and it's leaves. And we're like, what plant is this? Was it the botanist girl, Emmy?
Was it Emmy?
No. She goes to see Emmy. Emmy's like, no, it's green tea. Congratulations, you found green tea. And she's like, but and she pulls a banana off the shelf. It's a squeaky banana. And Veronica goes, excuse me. And she's like, oh, I used to take it away from the monkey because it drove me nuts. And Veronica's like, that's interesting that it had a toy. And it was a banana.
Yeah.
And so Veronica goes to our lab kid named
Guilty Party.
Yep, exactly. And she brings the banana toy, and she's like, hey, I can hear the monkey in there. And I know what happened. Did you name him? Like, did you fall in love with him?
Did you run away together? But yeah, he got too attached and named it Oscar. And he saw one day that the monkey was holding out the banana for him to come take it.
So they weren't supposed to give the monkey anything to play with because it's not supposed to play. Because it's
you're just studying.
But I think that's rude that you can study it while it plays.
It's brutal
though. What?
Just
just like
giving them
not giving them.
They don't have nothing to do.
Yeah, you should give him toys because he's just chilling. It's not like I don't think that should affect the study in any way, shape.
I wouldn't think so either.
But so he would bring toys for him when he'd go in on the weekend to catch up, and so then he'd have to take him away because he wasn't supposed to have toys.
Yeah.
And so when he'd leave, the monkey would reach out the toys so that he could take him because he knew he was leaving because he's smart. Because he's a monkey, and they're very much like people. They are very smart.
It's really sad.
But so he saved Oscar. And Veronica's like, yeah, I knew it was you because of this, and also because the Lad magazines that were in the shreds underneath the rats.
Yeah, Lad mags.
And because the green tea poured in, she's like, I know that the other person drinks green tea, but you just thought it would be clever, like, And he's like, yep. And then we go back to the lab. Veronica's like, hey, I'm giving you all your check back because I can't solve this mystery, which is a very high road of her.
Yeah, very much so.
And they're like, and the professor's like, grr, like I thought you were going to find my monkey. He's like, we can rush order a new one. It'll be here in 3 days or 6 days.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? You just go to Amazon.com and like rush order a monkey?
I don't think that's where they get them.
I know, but like, it's just like, oh yeah, we've got all these monkeys just on our shelves waiting to come to you.
Yeah, they're just
sad.
It's like lab beagles. Have you ever seen lab beagles get released?
Yeah, I hadn't before I dated you. And those videos make me so sad.
I know my parents' beagle is already neurotic. And he's had zero abuse in his life. So I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Those poor abused beagles.
Mm-hmm.
They just want love. Some of them had never touched grass before. They'd just been in cages being tested on. Why we don't buy things that have been tested on animals, because I don't care if my makeup gives me hives, but I do care if it makes the beagle sick and he doesn't get to play outside.
I know, that's the worst part.
It makes me sad. Matt goes to the boy's house, Bronton, and she's like, hey, do you want to go see this movie thing? And he's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, woo, like, yeah. Exciting.
Yep.
And then she turns to leave, and then she turns back around and she kisses him.
Smacks him on the lips with her lips. Yep, it's much better than that.
How do you? I have some questions about our intimacy. We can talk about them offline.
On my lips.
But I don't feel like lip smacking is how I want to encourage kissing.
No.
It sounds like we're headbutting in the bedroom. So. It's cute. It's sweet. Veronica goes to get food. She's buying like a sad salad at the
Yeah, from the sad salad bar.
the cafeteria thing. Piz is in the little radio show cubicle, so he comes out and he talks to her, and he sits at the table, and they talk, and they talk about he's like, yeah, you know.
They talk about music, quote unquote, and liking
and dating.
And right, yeah.
He was like, yeah, I don't want to, like, they wanted me to go to this concert thing, but I didn't want to, like, have to go, like, talk to girls that I don't want to talk to, because there's no point. They're like, yeah, there'll be girls everywhere, but he's like, I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to go see the band just because, like,
hot girls.
Yeah, you think the chick's hot.
And Piz is like, because, you know, I know what I like. Like, why waste my time? 90% of life is knowing the difference between, like, what I like and what I don't, and, like, what's right.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm like, wise words, Piz.
Yeah, profound, Piz.
Yeah, I love it. And he's like, I feel like you know what you like too. And she's like, yeah, I do. And we're like, yes, kiss, 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 kiss.
Is it me?
And Piz is like, you know, yeah, like, this is just a sweet little moment between the two of us. We cut scene. We don't know how the conversation ends. Do you ever think about that? I often think about how, like, we cut scene in the middle of conversations.
Why does it go like, well, see ya?
Yeah, like, okay, well, I'm going to go get back with my ex now.
Great.
Because that's what Veronica does.
Yep. Wrong.
Like,
had completely different conversation than Piz.
She knocks on a door at the Neptune Grand. Logan opens it. They kiss.
Mm-hmm. They smack.
Mm-hmm. But I'm like, you're not going to tell her that you fucked the server today? It's the same day. Yeah, There's no time period. This is the same day. I don't know. I have some qualms with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
understandably so.
We cut to Keith. He's at the bar. Professor Landry's there, and he's like, "Hey, I'm just a random dude. You're just a random dude. Let's random dude it up. I'm gonna get my scotch." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You ever done anything crazy for a lady?" One time I was gonna, like, bomb someone's car, basically, but instead
I was gonna light it on fire.
I lit my own car on fire. The things we do for love. And Professor Landry's like, "Hi, Keith."
Yeah.
He's like, "I read your book. I also have a book about profiling. I did not kill Cyrus O'Dell." And Keith's like, "Cool." So then he goes home and he's like, "Mrs. O'Dell, I'll take the case."
Yep.
Veronica, then the next day, she's in the cafeteria thing. She's sitting there at a table alone. Piz walks up. He's like, "Hey, you bought dinner last night. I'll get you breakfast." And she's like, "Oh." And then Logan comes up and puts breakfast in front of her. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh." And Logan's like, "Hey, Piz, what's up?" Or, like, anything new, or, you know, something like that. And he's like, "Nothing's changed."
Bye.
And then Piz is like, "Well, shit." And then I'm like, "Yeah, like, I want Piz."
Yep.
I think Piz deserves love.
Me too. The end.
That's my theory of it.
Yeah.
And Veronica's kind of like, "Huh, that's weird. Oh, I wonder if maybe Piz likes me." Couldn't be.
Exactly. And, you know, we understand you want to try and work it out with your ex. You haven't seen it. You don't get it yet. You haven't quite grokked this new guy yet. So you're learning.
But, like, bitch, you got options.
Mm-hmm.
You got a whole buffet. Go get a different snack.
Damn right. You're in the food court.
You already had breakfast. You go get dessert, baby. That's
breakfast and dessert.
How do you eat?
Yeah, that sounds good.
But yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah, decently fun episode.
Mm-hmm. I want more Piz.
Yep, always want more Piz content.
More Piz, more Mac, more Wallace, more Weevil.
This is the most time we've ever had with Mac. It was great.
And I'm pretty sure this is the beginning of what I call the Veronica Logan Hills and Valleys.
Yes, I think so. I think we
go on and off.
Yeah.
On and off and on and off.
I think it might only be one more off. And then I can't remember though. So we'll find out.
I don't remember either. But it's a lot.
It is.
It's a tumultuous relationship, and I just want to remind all of you out there: don't base your love life off of television, because this is an unhealthy relationship that you are seeing. Indeed,
and it has been for
the whole
a while.
time.
Yeah, and this entire season has just been really bad for them.
I mean, people change and they grow and they get better, but, like, remember Logan started with bum fights.
Bum fights, always, always keep that.
Yep, and he can grow and change, but he's got to face his trauma.
Yep, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he's got a lot of self-love work to do. He does not love himself.
And we'll cheer him on if he doesn't.
Exactly. Which we will.
Oh, we will.
We will.
Okay.
Well.
Plug it up.
Yep. You can find me when I'm not here on our other podcast. So actually I'll be here, but not you're here, here.
Yeah. Wait, if you're...
I'm here.
Yeah.
But
they're not.
They're not there. They'd have to go search. So what they're going to search is
they're over there.
Yeah, they're going to search for But Really Though. Though is spelled THO. It's a podcast where we talk about whatever the fuck we want. It ranges from true crime, conspiracy theories, aliens. I don't consider that conspiracy theories. It's its own category. UFOs, etc. Stuff we didn't learn in history. Anything and everything.
Want to give them a little preview on this week's?
Yeah. So this week, I will be talking about the audacity of men. If you were here last week, you'll remember on this podcast that I had quite a few feelings about the audacity of men.
Oh, yes.
And so we will be revisiting the audacity of men via F. Scott Fitzgerald's Great Gatsby and other works, and his wife, Zelda Fitzgerald, and how he stole content and ideas and creative energy and gaslit Zelda, and the audacity of men. We're also going to shit talk Hemingway. It's going to be my little English major's dream.
I'm
very excited because I have a lot of feelings about this.
Awesome.
Because the audacity of men.
Yeah, I am very excited to hear more about this. Then I will be talking about Patty Hearst and kidnapping as inspired by watching the show just a few episodes ago. So
yeah, it's a very fun podcast. It's But Really Though it's spelled THO. You can find it wherever you find this podcast, and if you can't find it or you get lost, just send us an email at marsrewatch.com and we'll route you to the other one.
marsrewatch@gmail.com. Yep.
Just .com. marsrewatch.com.
I don't know that URL. I don't know where that go.
You can also find me on my website, But Really Though, I am a life and career coach. I help people get their shit together. We have fun along the way. We make plans that work for them. We adapt when shit goes wrong. And if there's one thing I learned in 2020, it's that shit goes wrong a lot. And we adapt. True. We move. We grow. So I do that. And you can go to butreallythough.com, spelled just like the podcast, THO, and book your free discovery call there.
Yeah. You can find this podcast on Twitter and Facebook at Mars Rewatch. Send us an email at marsrewatch@gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Pyle Breton. That's PyleBrenton. And then you can also watch our Let's Play. We're playing through Mutant Year Zero over on my YouTube channel, Burger Discourse. But yeah, I think that's it.
Stay toasted, marshmallows.